Prepping a tiny home for top dollar. This home is 728 square feet, built in 1929 in Los Angeles. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. We're going to share exactly how we worked with the sellers to prep this tiny home for top dollar. Hey there, Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates. We've been helping buyers and sellers and tenants and landlords navigate these crazy days in California and beyond. We're excited to show you what can be done with a tiny home to make sure it sells for top dollar. Your first question may be, do you need to do anything in the craziest seller's market in history? The short answer is no. You don't have to do a single thing in order to generate multiple offers in a crazy seller's market like this. But if you do the right things, you are going to be able to get absolute maximum return on your investment. In order to generate top dollar, you need competition amongst buyers. You need buyers fighting over your home. That's the goal by the work that we've done on this tiny home. We're not looking for a wholesale buyer. We're looking for a top of the market retail buyer. And that's what these upgrades we're going to show you are going to help us find. The other advantage to doing these upgrades is when it comes time for the appraisal, which we all know has been difficult in this market, upgrades like these give an appraiser a little extra in value that they can justify. At the end of the day, we'll get top dollar and we'll also appraise for top dollar. The great clients who own this home were YouTube subscribers of mine. They reached out after their tenants had moved out. We met here at the property and took a look, and I got excited both to work with them and to work on this project. First, the good news from our walkthrough. It's on a large lot of over 7,400 square feet. There's a detached 2-car garage that's definitely newer than 1929. It's huge and has electrical and plumbing already out there. The other good news is no serious deferred maintenance. We didn't have a case where the roof was caving in, major leaks, termite damage, foundation issues, etc. Because we didn't have to take care of issues like those, it makes it easier to invest in the property and get a good return. The other nice thing is the seller had taken good care of the property and had upgraded to dual pane windows as well as the electrical, put in a new 200 amp panel plus new electrical throughout the house. This was the good news. Now some of our challenges. Obviously a tiny house is not going to work for everybody. Between the size of it and the number of bedrooms and 1 bathroom, plus the fact that when we list the property, it's the smallest home around, from a price per square foot, it is going to look out of whack no matter what price we pick, and we're going for top dollar. So we really need to make sure this thing pops in order to get folks here and get them to write offers. One more big advantage to a tiny house is we can splurge a little bit more on the materials, go with slightly higher end materials because we don't have as much square footage to cover. With only 1 bathroom, we knew we could make a splash. The tub was taken down to the studs, new tile put in, glass shower door, new floors, new vanity, all these things making a big difference on the 1 bathroom. Another splurge was the kitchen. So the kitchen had been redone in the home, and we debated repainting the cabinets and putting in new appliances and new countertops. But instead, we were able to work it into the budget so that we could redo the small kitchen. Another benefit to having a smaller footprint. So now the home includes the things that buyers want, which is nice quartz countertops, white shaker cabinets with slow closed doors, and some new stainless steel appliances in the home. This was a splurge that was worth doing. This is one of the upgrades I didn't want to compromise, and luckily the sellers agreed, and that is the flooring. So growing up, one of the jobs I had was installing flooring, so it's always one of the first things I look at when I go into a home. This home is no different, and because we're on a raised foundation in particular, which does have advantages, making it easier to access plumbing and electrical, but it also, if you use a cheap vinyl floor that's floating, makes it sound even cheaper. You've got that echo. So on this home, and thankfully the sellers agreed, we went with a high-end engineered hardwood flooring. This allowed us to glue it down and get rid of that echo, and we have absolutely beautiful floors. And this isn't something a typical flipper would do had this been just a flip. This extra money makes a big difference and goes a long way. The only single downside is when you have such nice floors, you gotta make sure everything else matches, and I think we've done that. Of course, we can't just focus on the interior, there's also exterior work that happens. So this involved tree trimming, new sod, and a fence along the property line. We gave the home a full interior and exterior paint job, and that includes the garage. So the interior of the garage was repainted, as well as the outside. You may be wondering, should we stage it? This could make a tiny home look even tinier once we put furniture in. And my opinion is there's no downside to staging it. We've already done a bunch of work to the home, and these last details in staging are going to help make the difference so buyers can visualize themselves living there. Whether there's furniture or not, buyers are going to know the home is tiny. We can't hide the fact that this is a tiny home, but with the right furniture, we can give buyers an idea of how they can live in this space. Obviously, you can spend way too much money on upgrading on the wrong things. It ultimately won't give you a return on investment. That's why you need to reach out to an appropriate professional who can give you that guidance. Also in this market with material and labor shortages, sometimes you're going to need a plan B, C, and D in order to get the repairs done you want, or maybe you have to make some changes. It helps that we have family members who are general contractors, so we can ensure the work gets done on time, on budget, and of the highest quality. Another big question people have is, how do you pay for these upgrades? Well, these clients had the money sitting aside and were willing to put it into the property before it went to the market. There are other ways, so reach out if you have questions. There are other ways to finance the upgrades on the property and work within just about any budget. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see how this turned out. This property is going live this weekend, and we can't wait to share how the sales process works out. Let us know in the comments below what you think about what we did. Buyers, would you pay top dollar for this home? And sellers, are you willing to do the work that it takes to get top dollar? Let us know below. Be sure to subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter where we cover topics like this, plus a whole lot more for buyers and sellers and tenants and landlords. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we appreciate you.